Hey guys, Asian Kyle here bringing you a really quick review, not on a knife, but on this little guy, the Fenix LD02. This is my EDC flashlight and I gotta say I really like it, but usually when we think of EDC gear, most of us think of this stuff. If you're a knife person, you carry at least one knife on you. You've got your car keys, of course, at least a pen for writing. I carry a pedometer at work, so I can track my steps and everything, but this is what most people usually consider as part of their EDC gear. But we're not going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about the Fenix LD02. So before I get too deep into it with how I feel about it, let me just list off a quick couple specs. It's got an aluminum barrel with just a little bit of knurling right there for a little bit of extra added grip. It's powered by a single LED bulb, and it's got kind of this rubber end cap over here to turn the light on. So yeah, the button provides really good positive feedback, and you completely realize that you've turned it on, unlike some lights where you kind of press it on and you're like, oh wait, I guess this thing is on. I will say that originally it did come with a pocket clip. Like I said, did. I actually lost the pocket clip in the warehouse a couple weeks ago, and honestly, I'm not too upset by that. It was a really crummy pocket clip. It kind of clipped on right here, and it wasn't really anything spectacular, and I was probably just going to take it off eventually anyways. But I purchased this guy from REI about 2 months ago for the price of like $30. And I know to a lot of hardcore flashlight guys and gals out there that Fenix is kind of on the low end of things. It's not something that's greatly desired, but for me and my purposes, this thing is awesome. Just for another size comparison, let me bring in a AA battery rechargeable energizer that I usually put in my Xbox controllers. As you see here, they're about the same width as far as height goes. You know, it's a little bit longer. But I think the most astounding thing by this flashlight is the fact that it isn't powered by little cell batteries, but in fact a full-size AAA battery. And in my opinion, that's something that's really, really important, because whenever you need a battery for your flashlight, you really need a battery. And you can find AA's and AAA's at practically any store across the nation and probably across the world. So, a little bit more on the specs. It has 3 different light levels. That's the medium at 25 lumens. If you just kind of lightly depress the button, it takes you to the next power level, which is low at 8 lumens, and then one more time at high at a full blasting 100 lumens. On high, it only lasts about 30 minutes, but what can you say? It's a AAA battery. At low, it lasts 4 hours and 15 minutes. Or sorry, medium, 4 hours 15 minutes, and on low it lasts a whopping 15 hours. So plenty of light for just about any application. The only thing that I find as far as the power levels go is at night, if the power ever happens to go out at your place or wherever you're out, even the low at 8 lumens is almost too bright. It's pretty intense, but you know, don't confuse lumens with brightness. It's more a level of light intensity. So the light's just almost too intense even on its lowest setting. But the thing is also impact resistant to like 1 meter, so about 3 feet, and it's also waterproof up to 2 meters, so around 6 feet. It's pretty cool, especially since this is just such a small little flashlight, and it meets the specification for me for a perfect EDC item. So why carry a flashlight? I mean, seriously, we find that usually knives are so much more useful. They perform more tasks, they cut things, and they can be used as a Kubotan if they're long enough, and I've used them honestly as paperweights. Not only that, but they also kind of look cool in pocket. See with that blue anodized backspacer. But why carry a flashlight? And for me, the reason why I carry a flashlight right now is I work in a warehouse, and we've got lighting, but honestly, it's not the greatest lighting. So if I'm trying to dig through a box on a shelf about 30 feet in the air, the last thing I really want to be doing is squinting to try and see what I'm looking for. So I pull out my trusty little flashlight and I click it on real quick, and it illuminates the space perfectly. Secondly, it does get dark every 24 hours, and in fact less than that depending on where you live. It's kind of an interesting phenomenon called night, and if you have to go outside and do something, just a little bit of extra light helps a lot. The kind of last reason why I like to carry a flashlight is you never know when you're really going to need one, and it's kind of like wearing a watch. You don't ever know you need one until you finally start wearing one, and then you end up looking at your watch all the time. It's much less intrusive than you'd think, and especially when it's only this big. This little light falls straight into your pocket and you just forget about it. But yet when you need it, you've got it. So I really enjoyed carrying this flashlight. It does have just that little bitty lanyard hole. You're not going to fit any paracord through there unless you really try, so I wish you luck with that. But overall, I really do like the flashlight a lot. But some of the things I don't really like about it is, number one, this end cap. And as you see here, it does stick out quite a bit. And whenever I did have the pocket clip, I found that whenever I'd move around and I'd go to sit down or something, that the light would click on and it would stay on in my pocket for who knows how long. So within the first week of owning this thing, I actually had to replace the batteries 3 times. Kind of a bummer. It's not that batteries are expensive, but mainly it was turning itself on without me really wanting it to. So another complaint I had about it was, of course, the pocket clip. Granted, this wasn't exactly a $100 flashlight or anything, and I knew the pocket clip wasn't going to last, but I really wish that Fenix would have put a halfway decent pocket clip on this thing. Maybe even had one that you kind of screw on to the light itself, where it's just got a ring and it kind of comes up and loops over in this direction to make a deep carry. That would have been really nice, because you're not going to lose it that way. Another thing I really don't like about this light is the fact that now that I don't have the pocket clip on it, I set it down on a slightly uneven surface, and that is what happens. So I kind of wish that they would have made these grooves a little bit more pronounced, so that way the light doesn't roll around. But really, that's about it. Like I said, I really do enjoy this little light a lot. It carries very, very well. It provides all the light that you really need, and it's fit enough to survive riding in my pocket with my keys and everything else. So as an EDC item, I really recommend, if you don't have a flashlight, just to grab one. And it doesn't need to be something large. In fact, I really recommend this one, especially as your starter. You never know how much you're going to use it until you actually use it. And at times you may question, why am I even carrying this? But when you do need it, it's going to be great to have. So anyways, guys, this is Asian Kyle signing off today with my quick review on the Fenix LD02.